What up, Chicago Bears fans? We got on the orange new Tyreek Stevenson today, and my friends, it is a cause for celebration today, at least for me. I'm home from work. Grab one with me. Let's talk. Man, that beer tastes good after a firing, doesn't it, Bears fans? Shane Waldron finally fired as offensive coordinator. Thomas Brown to take over responsibilities for the remainder of the 2024 season. My friends, it is about time. I mentioned in my video yesterday, I did not expect to hear anything about this until tomorrow when I did my injury report video. However, given that it has come out today, I'm just hopping on here to speak about it with you guys. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know a lot about Thomas Brown other than he is our passing coordinator. I do know that he was the offensive coordinator for the remaining 7 games in Carolina last year before they blew that up, so a small sample size there. And he did a bunch of stuff in LA, especially being the assistant head coach when they won their Super Bowl. So I am hopeful. I'm not hoping to go on a run. I won't be that oblivious to what's going on in Chicago because I do still believe that we have bigger problems on our hands. However, I do hope that we can get back to basics and form a scheme around Caleb, because I feel like that is one of the biggest things that has not happened, is that they have tried to scheme Caleb to Shane Waldron's offense and not the other way around like it should be. You're breaking the cardinal sin of football. Every other coach and offensive coordinator is scheming around their young rookie quarterbacks, and the Bears have not done that yet this year. So hopefully he can turn that around for Williams. If anything, the only thing that I expect and want to see out of the gauntlet coming up is that Caleb Williams can kind of get back to that weeks 3 to 6 type of play where he's being able to make quick throws off the line. He's taking his check downs. He's throwing the ball away when he needs to and not taking sacks for a loss. I'm just hoping to see Caleb Williams start to grow once again, because he has regressed the last 3 weeks. Now, as far as the Shane Waldron part of the topic goes, man, oh man, Bears fans, were we pissed. We were pissed when we came into Monday after the game yesterday, and there was absolutely no word given on Shane Waldron whatsoever. Eberflus just went and dodged every question about it. We were all really pissed off. We didn't know what to think. We all knew what to think. Listening to 670 and ESPN and the Morning Breeze, CHGO Bears, listening to all these guys, the sentiment around it is tending to be the same. It definitely seems like Eberflus is being called into question. It is highly doubtful that he will be back for the beginning of 2025. However, the biggest question is who was the ultimate determining factor in Shane Waldron's firing? Was it on Eberflus and was it his decision alone, or did Ryan Poles walk in there and be like, fire the guy or I'll fire you? Or did Warren come down into Poles' office and say, somebody's got to lose their job today? We don't really know. To be honest, I don't really care. I'm just glad that Shane Waldron is gone. Because like I've said for at least the last 3 weeks, and then also in weeks 1 and 2, and even week 3, it was disheartening to see that, you look at your all 22s, you look at the game in retrospect when you're not viewing it live, you can see that there is a big scheming problem because you are not scheming your wide receivers to get open. And then when you do get it open, Caleb has to throw in a way that he can't make an accurate throw because of the offensive line breaking down. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to skirt Caleb for all the blame here. He does take blame in the fact that some of the throws are solely on him. Some of the sacks are solely on him, especially for big losses of yards when you could just throw the ball away. Now, do I think that this could be a turning point to where Caleb starts to progress again? Yes, I do. I think that, Thomas Brown should start looking inwards as far as scheming around Caleb instead of fitting Caleb to the scheme. And there was a lot of inexcusable moments, that handoff to your backup center at the goal line, inexcusable, can't do it. Using DJ Moore on a jet sweep in the backfield, inexcusable, can't do it. Using using DeAndre Swift between the tackles. I mean, he's not a between the tackles running back. That's what you have Roshan Johnson for. Using Keenan Allen as a downfield player. I mean, with his age and the way that he runs routes, that's just not the kind of player Keenan Allen is anymore. And, the only guy that gets open on a consistent basis is Rome Odunze. But then on the flip side of that, Caleb is already running for his life, or Odunze is too late in the progression reads to be able to get the ball to him. I think that, you should be using Odunze as more your number one read at this point, which, I think that, Thomas Brown will see that and hopefully adjust it. But, do I think that part of this is someone needed to be a scapegoat and it just happens to be Shane Waldron? Yes, I do. There's a part of me that kind of feels bad for the guy because you know how the Bears roll. They get rid of somebody and they go somewhere else and then they just ball out. That goes for players, coordinators, head coaches. I mean, Matt Nagy went back to the Chiefs and then immediately won a Super Bowl. So what does that tell you, right? And it's just there's just so much discomfort and discombobulation in the offense that someone had to go. And we all know that it's not going to be Eberflus, unfortunately. Firing a head coach midseason will never happen. And to my knowledge, this is the first time that any coach has been fired midseason, right? So it's a step in the right direction. I'm okay with Thomas Brown taking over. I felt like either the running backs coach or the wide receiver coach or the running coordinator or the passing coordinator kind of made the most sense. I'm just happy that it was somebody from the offensive side of the ball. All the players, it seems like the players went to Poles and Eberflus in confidence to say, hey, get rid of them. We need a change. On the flip side of that, there's also a report out that they're asking for Tyson Bagent to start. That ain't going to happen because if you bench Caleb Williams at this point, you're going to kill his career entirely. So you're at the point where you're in too deep. You got to leave him in. You got to get him to learn. Like I said, I think that Mr. Brown, while he won't make it perfect, I'm not expecting to go on any sort of insane run during the gauntlet. I'm not expecting to go 6-1 the rest of the way and turn the season around and magically make the playoffs. I just want to see consistent growth out of Caleb Williams, and I just want to see the offense progress. That is it. That's all I want to see. At this point, wins are a bonus. I still feel like your only winnable games are Seattle and maybe San Francisco. And San Francisco is even a fetch. You might be able to get one against Minnesota because of how their offense has been kind of exploited the last few weeks. But that they're going to blitz a lot. I think that if he turns it around quick enough with Williams, you might keep the game against Green Bay a little interesting, only because of Love and his turnover problem. But then again, Green Bay is the number one turnover defense, so there's also that. But I think that this change was necessary. Was it an utter scapegoat thing? Yes, it was. It was a scapegoat thing. I mean, let's be honest. We knew that Eberflus wasn't going to go first. We know that he's not going to go by the end of the season. It will be Black Monday when the season's over. We all know that. It is what it is. Does it suck? Because then you got to bring in a new head coach for Williams' second year? Yes. But if you turn it around good enough, win or loss, you can start having the conversations about an actual head coach, because we saw the reports that Ben Johnson was like, nah, they're so messed up, I'm out. You might be able to change that opinion if you can make a strong case by the end of the year, you know? So I'm hopeful, like I said, not for wins, but just to see the offense start to progress again. Hopefully that new set of eyes and a fresh mindset helps. As long as you can scheme it to where Williams isn't getting killed every single play, whether that's making sure that he's getting rid of the ball, just to avoid the sack, whether you scheme your receivers to get open faster. You don't have to go downfield all the time. You really don't. You don't got to go downfield all the time. Get a 5-yard play here, get a 3-yard play here, get a 7-yard play here. Play within your means on what your offensive line allows you to do. And if that means getting your receivers open after 5 yards, take advantage of it. Take what they give you and teach Caleb Williams again to take those checkdowns like he did so well from weeks 3 to 6, right? And what you can do then, once you start building up confidence, then you could try adding in a couple deep balls there. I just hope that when it comes down to crunch time, if you're in a point where you're down in the red zone and you have the ability to score, just call a play that makes sense. That's all I'm asking for. That's all I want to see out of the offense going forward. Maybe we also get lucky and, he puts offensive linemen where they actually make sense and he plays to their strengths instead of just letting them get ran over week in and week out. Maybe we get lucky with that too. Who knows? But I mean, we'll see tomorrow with practice and the injury reports that come out. We'll see where Jaquan Brisker's at. We'll see where everybody else is. Tevin Jenkins and Krana Magaji. We'll see where everyone is, right? I mean, we'll see how that works out with the injury report tomorrow. But I'm just curious to see what people have to say when that first practice happens with him. I've already seen on ESPN and CHGO and all these other places, they're talking about how you should see an instant reaction with Williams day one in practice. He will be coached harder, and I'm looking forward to that. I hope that rings true. Chicago Bears fans, let me know what you think in the comments. Is it good enough for the end of the season? Should Eberflus still be on the chopping block if he loses to one of our division rivals? Let me know what you think below. And as always, bear down, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so we can beat that YouTube algorithm. And I will see you tomorrow for the injury update, my friends.